Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will weigh in on a number of topics ranging from choosing the education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina, I'll be your host for today. For an exciting one of speakers will be weighing in on a variety of topics such as emerging careers that are future-proof, building a career in the maritime industry, as well as what you should consider when deciding the right university. Today, we have our first speaker. We have Ms. Chai Lim, Digital Marketing Lead Trainer at Redbeat Academy, will be sharing with us about the emerging careers that are future-proof. Let me just pull Ms. Chai into the stream. Hi, Ms. Chai.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon. How are you? How are you? I hope you've had your lunch already. It's already 2 p.m.
I know. I mean, I have my lunch, and I also hope that everyone stays safe at home.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah. So
All right.
basically, yeah.
All right, so just a little background about our esteemed speaker today for those of you watching. Ms. Chai is a branding expert and has started her brand and marketing consulting studio in 2013, working closely with SMEs in Europe and Asia. She holds an MBA and is accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. She is skilled in branding, strategic marketing, and digital marketing and has a super sharp eye in design elements and a general vibe. Now, before we begin, to our live audience watching, if you have any questions for Ms. Chai, do leave a comment. We'll get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out Redbeat Academy's virtual booth while you're at the fair. All right, Ms. Chai, you can present anytime, but before that, let's take a quick look and see what Redbeat Academy has prepared for you.
Looking for the next step in your digital career? Redbeat Academy will lead you the way. Get a head start with our comprehensive and compact courses. Be industry ready in no time and start building your digital career. Choose from our wide variety of courses like digital marketing, data analytics, software engineering, and more to upskill or reskill yourself. Redefine your digital journey with Redbeat Academy today at redbeatacademy.com.
All right, just a quick look into Redbeat Academy. Ms. Chai, you can share your slides now. You can change the presentation and now pull your slides into the screen. All right.
Okay. So I'm presenting right now. Hopefully, you can see it.
Yes. All right. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Chai, you can take it away.
Okay, thank you, Nina. Well, I mean, I didn't even know about that introduction, but I mean, what I'm trying to say here is, instead of putting myself as like the expert, the professionals, and the big title here, I wanted to share as I am actually same as you guys. I'm Malaysian. I born here and I grew up here. It's just that it takes a bit longer time for me to get where I am today, and that is also why those experience that I have, and I think it worth to share a little bit with you guys. So I've been through the same thing as you, the same journey. Um, Graduated in Malaysia, and I've thought about the same question as well. Where should I go? Which course should I choose? And what can I do in the future? So basically, I'm just like you guys, right? And I'm really happy to be here today to share these stories of mine, and I hope really, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that whatever I'm sharing with you today, I'm able to help you a little bit, and I'm able to give you an idea, where to go, where to move on, right? So that's about a little bit, besides the titles of mine being the digital marketing trainers or brand experts or professional, I'm just like you. And what I'm going to share today, right, the topic of discussions would be emerging careers that are future proof, as you can see from the slides here. And on behalf of Redbeat Academy. So if you want to know more about, besides, on top of that video that you've seen earlier, you should be able to see this QR code at the bottom right. And so feel free to just scan the QR code if you wanted to take a look at, know more about who Redbeat Academy, and also, or you could just, go to our website, just type in redbeatacademy.com, right? So that's the first part of it. So, okay, emerging careers that are future-proof. Well, when we look into this topic, maybe I want to simplify it, right? It's just basically you wanted to know what are the most in-demand careers, right? And when we talk about career, it simply refers to what are the job opportunities, right? What are the job opportunities here? And we talk about job opportunities, it means it relates, right? It relates to businesses, right? So careers means like, what kind of job opportunities available. And when we talk about job opportunities, again, it relates to businesses, okay? So again, when we talk about business, and you may want to look into the market. So all of these are related, okay? So careers, talk about job opportunities, and when we talk about job, who's going to give you the job? It will be the business owner. So you're going to look into businesses and you want to look into the market. And what is market, right? Next, the question that you may have, in your mind right now, what is market? I don't want to, again, I just want to give you a simple idea. So anywhere that involves supply and demand, buyer and seller, right? Anywhere that, involve these two parties, supply, demand, the parties here, buyer and seller, will be considered as the market, okay? And it means, right, the seller, right, seller and buyer, so who are they? Seller would be the business, right? When business owner, they want to sell something, the position of business owner here, they are the seller. So the buyer, so when you want to sell something, you have a person that receives the goods or services, right? So that person, the party here, would be the buyer, and you can also call it as the customer. When we have customers, when customers buy something from the seller, the customers could be the consumers. Okay, so customers could be the consumers. What's the difference here? So it could be like, I buy something from a company, but when I buy something from a company, I actually, buy it on behalf of someone, or, it's a gift for, another person. So the person who consume the product or services would be the consumers. Okay, so this would be the, if I want to simplify the idea of opportunities of careers, job opportunities, business market, and the parties will relate, it would be buyer and seller, and the buyer here with customers, and customers could be the consumers. So that is the whole, right, journey, or, elaborations of how we break it down, right, about the this career. So you and I, or you and me here, we are the consumers in this market, right? Because we use, we are using stuff every day. We're consuming, products in our daily life, right? So be it whether you buy it or maybe, maybe it's not from you, someone bought it for you, right? But we are the consumers because we are consuming tangible goods, or we are consuming, we are actually getting services. So we are the consumers in this market. So we're for us to look into the consumer's lifestyle, right? In order to understand the market. When we say we want to understand the market, because business need to understand how, right? Business depends on the market, right? So we need to understand the market. When we refer to that, it means we wanted to look into the consumer's lifestyle. That's part of it. And I'm going to just share, this example, with like a simple story, so that you can get, again, an idea and understand, about the consumer's lifestyle. So I'm going to tell you a story here. A boy. It's a story of a boy. There's a boy named Peter. Okay, the boy named Peter. Peter, 19 years old, and Peter loves to play basketball. Okay. So Peter loves to play basketball. I'm not sure if any one of you out there, have a similar preference as Peter, but Peter loves basketball. And Peter also loves to look into sports shoes, right? He loves to look at sports shoes or beautiful. There's different kind of design and features of basketball shoes or sports shoes, and he also loves to look at this different design, just search about some inspiration, what kind of designs available in Instagram. And he also loves to follow these basketball stars in Instagram, right? So that's what Peter likes to do, like almost every day. Okay. And Peter usually, where he browse this Instagram is through the mobile device. So he got his smartphone, and then he downloaded the Instagram application, and then that's what he does every day. He loves to also showcase this, the shoes that he has to his friends in Instagram. So he shows it through like Instagram posts whenever he got this new shoes, and or when before he posted the Instagram feed. He also loves to share the stories, right? Well, on top of that, he also loves to look at some others, his friends and the top stars stories, right? So that's part of what Peter would do. And Peter has a sister, so a sister named Jane. So Peter and Jane. So Jane is 16 years old, slightly different from Peter, slightly different. So what Jane likes is it would be dancing. Yeah, he was a ballerina before. Mom actually sent her to for ballet school before, so she loves all this kind of like dancing move. And she also loves to look into products, accessories, or the clothes that relates to all this ballet kind of related of products, right? Products or accessories that relates to the dance. And but slightly different from Peter, she's more active on TikTok. So she likes to look at all this latest funny, crazy, TikTok videos. So that's what she likes to do. And also she loves to look into also, the way to create this creative and fun videos in TikTok. That's what she would try her very best, and to find out how to actually, gain all this kind of likes and how to get more followers in TikTok. That's what she, is really crazy with. And so those are, the life of Peter and Jane, right? And both of them stay in a household. So both of them stay together at the same house with the mom and dad, right? So in the same house here, we have mom and dad, we have Peter and Jane, right? So all of them here stay in the same household. And one day, the parents, right, both of them, they were thinking, they want to buy a present. They want to buy a birthday present for Peter and Jane. You were thinking, then they asked Peter and Jane, what do you guys like? What do you guys like for your birthday present? And Peter said, well, I saw this particular design of the shoe in Instagram that I actually like it very much. Maybe you can buy this for me as the present. That's what Peter said. And Jane said, oh yeah, I saw something, in TikTok the other day like that, right? So Jane then, to the parents say, maybe I want to buy this accessories from that she saw it from TikTok, right? So they want that product for the birthday present. So mom and dad say, all right, let me have a look. So that's where the Google comes in. They say, okay, let me have a look. Let me Google it. Let me just Google it and see, where can I, buy this? And let me Google it and say, what kind of brand is this? How much is it, right? They research it through Google. So after they researched it, they saw, okay, well, the shoes that you like, hey, Peter, the shoes that you like is actually not too bad, right? The rating is there, the review is there. A lot of people gives good review. All right, so in that case, I'll just, and also it's available online, right? So let me get you this. So I'll buy this for you, as long that you behave, right, within these 2 days. So the parents just order online for the shoes and they receive the shoes. But on the other hand, for Jane's site, right, with the products that she saw, she wants, then mom said, I tried to Google this, but I couldn't find anything about this. How about something else? How about the related product as such? How about the other products that similar with what you want, but maybe better? So she provides the alternative options because she just couldn't find it online. And then Jane said, okay, look at that again. Let me just take a look at the products again that you found. Take a look at the design, take a look at your descriptions. I said, okay, right, I can bear with this, right? So mom said, all right, fine. We go with the options alternative, and then we bought that for you. Okay, same thing, ordered online, and both of them received the present within a week, and they're happy with the result. So that's the story of Peter and Jane and the parents in the same household. And what I'm trying to tell you here is, from this simple story, all these examples that I told you here, Google, Instagram, TikTok, those are the examples of digital channels, right? And seller, if you still remember, sellers refers to the business owners here, right? The brand or business owners here. So the sellers are using digital channels to reach the buyers. And who are the buyers here, right? The buyer would be the mom and dad, right? They are the customer. They bought it from the owner or the brand. But the consumers here would be Peter and Jane, because they consume the products that the mom and dad bought, right? So that's the idea of what we call it as a consumer lifestyle, what they live and how's the journey of this consumer journey towards buying your products. And that is an example of one household, right? One household. And I want you to have this picture. We have lots of households within the market, right? We have lots of households within the market. That's the picture of the market. So when we look into the data again by early of January this year, so when we look into the daily lifespan, the daily time spent of using the internet, so this is a data from collected from Hootsuite and is referring to the internet users from 16 years old to 64 years old. If you look at Q3, refers to like every quarter of the year. So the result shows you, the data shows you how long, right, users spend time on internet in any device. And the key point that I wanted to highlight would be that increase, right? The tremendous increase in between 2019 to 2020. That's the increment of time spent of internet consumption. So we have 24 hours a day. If you just mine out, take it out like 8 hours of sleep, that's usual. 9 hours of work or study. It means like 7 hours remaining for average, like 7 hours for internet. You're spending, 1/3 of your daily time with the internet. And if you, look into overall, not just, where they, what kind of channels that they use, like when they, use the internet, besides your study, because I understand that now, so you have this online learning, right? You have to spend time, with the internet for your study. But on top of that, you also use social media. That's the social media channels comes in. So we have 490 million new social users over the past year. And if I want to go back to the example that I gave you, so Peter and Jane, right, basically, right? So those are the example of social media channels. You have like Instagram, you have TikTok. And with the number of this, this is in a global scenario, 490 million of new social media users for the past year. About 54%, that number refers to over half of the total world population, right? So imagine those are the social media users, and also potentially they are the consumers, right? They are also potentially the customers. So the top social media channel at this point of time, the in global scenario, according to the data we have collected, it would be Facebook. So Facebook comes in as the top social media channels with like the highest active users. And then we have YouTube. We also have Messenger. And we have WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and WeChat. So those, social media channels that I'm actually showing you here would be ranking at the top of the chart. So, and not just browsing, or not just browsing these social media channels when they online. They also, I mean, you have to understand why, right? Why they want to use this social media. So primary reason, according to data here again, right? The primary reasons that they use social medias, I want to just highlight the top, part of it, because they wanted to stay up to date with the news and current event. Apparently, that's the top reason. And they want to find funny or entertaining content. Wow, it could be Peter. It could be Peter in this case, right? Maybe Peter wanted to find some, funny content about, or it could be Jane too, because Jane is there, right, with TikTok. Wanted to find this entertaining videos, right? It could be Jane. And they want to feel out spare time. Apparently, that's the third one. Stay in touch with what my friends are doing. So they want to know what their friends are currently doing, and they want to share, the photos and videos. They want to share the moment with others. And what I want to highlight again here, they want to research the products before they buy, right? So if I put it into a summary of that top reason why they are there in this social media space, they want to stay up to date. They wanted to stay connected, and also product research, right? Product and brand research, because I'm emphasizing brand here. Right. So they want to stay up to date. They want to stay connected, stay up to date with the latest news. They want to stay connected. And also they wanted to do the product and brand research before they want to buy something. So here you say, the market, right? And the consumers and behavior, lifestyle. There you go. They use social media. They are there active and in this online phase. With internet, they're heavy internet users, and they use most of them. They are also social media users, and the reason why they use social media is because they want to just perform this 3 key reason. And then when they research the products and they want to buy something, right? So then we look into e-commerce. And when I go back, if I put it back to the example that the story that I shared with you earlier here, it means mom and dad, right? If they don't buy something for Peter and Jane, they basically, they look at which are the brands or products that are available online. Why? Because it's easy for them, right? It's easier for them to just get what they want, and they don't have to even go out from the house, especially at this period of time, right? As the earlier I told Nina, right, all of us are currently staying at home, right, because of that situations of COVID. So what you could do is you spend more time there, right, in the internet. If you want to buy something, you just have to look at brands or products that are available there online. And if you look at the data here again, just again a data from Hootsuite, it tells you this is the result by early 2021 January. It's over billion of over $1 billion that you could see, these total transactions in e-commerce. Again, this is in a global scenario, and break it down into different industries. So you have like fashion and beauties, you have electronics and physical media, you have furniture and appliances. Those are the specific industry if you want to break it down. But what is the main, again, highlight here is that is global. And if you look into Southeast Asia, the main thing that I want to tell you here is the new shoppers here, right? The users, new shoppers, the buyers, they generated over a third of 2020 online commerce. So e-commerce is something that is so important in the market. So, and according to the research here from Google, because of that shift of pattern, they are getting used, means buyers, right? They are getting used with that online shopping experience, and out of eight in 10 say they will continue to shop online, even though late after the pandemic, maybe they could able to go back out there to buy it from the retail or shops, right? So according to the survey here, what I'm trying to highlight here, not just the number of online shoppers increase, but the survey also tells you, the report tell you, the data told you, they also they intend to just stay with that online shopping pattern, because the experience that they had was great, right? So this is what we look at the current market and also in the future, right? So you could see that shift. You could see that shift of consumption behavior. And what is the key message here, right? To tell you would be, consumers search online, customers shop online. This is what happened now, and it will be also what happened in the future. And the numbers of buyers online will be increasing, will continue to increase, right? So when we want to, so what is the whole story about, right? It's about looking into, because this is how the business, right, to sell. It means the consumers, customers, right, the buyers, they are there. This is how they want to buy things. This is how they want to research the products, and this is where they are. Spend the most of their time there. So it's important. It's really important for the business owner to reach the audience here, to reach the consumers or potential customers in online, in this digital world. So therefore, there you go. So this is the market demand, and businesses fulfill the demand. Therefore, it's very important for them to have that online presence. So now you want to look at, who are the people, right? So who are the people behind the businesses in this digital world? Now you understand that business need to stay there online. So you have e-commerce, and e-commerce comes into place where, whether they want to shop through internet, your e-commerce site, or maybe not your own e-commerce site, but also perhaps a marketplace like your Lazada or Shopee's, right? If you have an idea. And also you wanted to promote and publicize your brand and products through not just in the search engine like Google, but you also wanted to promote in social media channels like the Instagram or TikTok that I refer as the example there. So all this pattern of how business work online. And you wanted to know, like, who are the people behind the business, right? Who actually help the business to sustain this routine of work, right? And these people would be what we have here, the UX designer, we have the software engineer. So first, before you want to launch a product, you need to have a designer to create to design the products, right? You want a designer to come into place, like your website here, how the website looks like, which is the best way to present your website, the design of it. So all these design elements, you need UX designer. So UX designer come into place, and their key role here to design this user experience, right? Come up with the product design, the best product design that according to what users want to experience, right? And once you have the design in place, you need the software engineers to start working out to develop the products, and also where to host the product here, where to host this site, whether if it's a mobile app, which server to use, for example. Then you need cloud infrastructure to come into place to tell you all this information. And once the product is launched, once the product is ready, you want to launch to the market, how to launch to the market, where to tell the who are the audience, right? Who are the users here, how to reach the audience, how to reach the users. So that would be the digital marketeers that comes into place and tell, and work on the proposal, work on the strategy planning, like how to launch it, and also maintaining it, like public keep the promotions, and she wanted to come up with like campaign strategy. So those are the things that you work, right, on the digital marketing. And once you have collected all this data, what we refer by all this data would be all these signals, all the data that that you as the users, right? When you use that particular products online, you're actually giving the data to the business owner as well. For example, like how many people visit your site, or how many people actually buy, where they're from, which source that they bought it from. So all this data that you have collected, you need the data scientists as well, data analysts, right, to analyze the data. And how can you create with the data to improve something, to create new products, or maybe come chip into ideas like the new insight to design a better users experience kind of products. So data scientists play, a role as well. And most importantly, you need to secure, right? What is the safest payment gateway? How can you make sure that there's no hackers coming into place? You need the cybersecurity to tell you. So those are the people, right, that involve behind these digital these businesses, right, in this digital world. And what I want to share here is also, Redbeat Academy, when we set up this academy, the whole idea is to design courses that able to, provide you this future-proof career opportunities. Therefore, those, key roles that I've just shared here would be the key courses available with Redbeat Academy. And when this, again, like I say, right, so we design courses that help you to kickstart, not just because when we set up this academy, the key idea is because we understand what is the need in the market, especially in this digital world. Therefore, we design courses that are able to cultivate the right talent in this tech industry. And also we understand, it's important not just understand or know the skills to work in this. The skills that you gain, right, it's not just gaining the skills, but most importantly, you want to secure it with a job, and then that's a job opportunity comes in, and then you want to build your career, not just a job, but a career in your life. So we also help you to kickstart your career in the most time and cost saving manner. What do I mean by time and cost saving? So I just want to share you this, little story of mine. As I told you, I'm also Malaysian. I born here, raised here, so my childhood was here. So Malaysian, and then I spent 4 years, right? 4 years for me to get my diploma, and also advanced diploma. And then I graduated for my, bachelor degree here. And throughout that 4 years, I also had my opportunities to have this internship. So I had my internship and opportunities, I work experience in Malaysia, and also I went to UK to study, to complete the bachelor degrees. And from there, this is 4 years time. And my parents pay for it back then. So it is more than 120,000 ringgit Malaysia. So after 4 years and 6 years of working, so I graduated, I came out, and I started my career. I started my career in this brand and marketing industry. So in agency, I was in a media agency, and then I shifted to creative agency, so advertising agency. And after advertising agency, I moved to the marketing department. That's where my journey. So I had this media, advertising, and marketing, and also digital marketing eventually. So afterwards, I spent another year to get my master. And from the master, I do have this placement opportunity again, right? So that's my story. So what is the main highlight again is to tell you here, after graduated from SPM, like most of you, I believe, and I chose to go for, that's the choice that I made. So I made it to diploma, and 4 years that I spent, right, in order for me to start my first job in this career. Now with Redbeat Academy, you are able to graduate from the course in an average of 4 months time. So those courses that I showed you earlier, UX design, software engineers, cloud infrastructures, digital marketing, those courses that I told you, which are able to give you those future-proof careers, because they are the people behind this digital business. So we designed a course so that you are able to graduate in an average of 4 months, and also you will have the placement opportunity. So you will graduate with a placement, experience, work experience, and the total cost that we are looking at here is an average of 12,000. So when I do the comparison of myself, right, because I'm sharing my story, so when I do that comparison of myself, I say, I spent 4 years to get to kickstart, at the first line, and then here you have the chance to just kickstart it within average of 4 months. And the price as well, right? The price, the total cost that we spent back then, and now you have in an average of 12,000. So you can get more information about that courses available again, back in the Redbeat Academy website. So, and what is the key point I want to highlight here as well would be, a lot of people, according to Google, so again, user experience, right? So I Google it, how many university graduate in Malaysia couldn't find a job? That's a question, or normally what you do when you want to find out an answer. Again, so when I search this again, it pops up the answers and tells you immediately, hundreds of university graduates are finding it hard to land a job in today's declining economy. And if you could see that, the number of a lot of graduates from college or universities, they couldn't find a job. And here, that's the another part that why we highlight placement opportunities, because if you Redbeat Academy actually powered or initiated by R.E.T.I Digital in collaboration with Google Cloud. Therefore, we have this you're able to secure a placement opportunity within this ecosystem, and not just Malaysia, but our ecosystem here would be in the ASEAN region, right? So what you're able to get here would be like learn by solving the real world problems, because as I said, right, we designed the course based on the real practical cases that in this workforce. So you learn by solving the real world problems, and also at the end of the course you get to secure your placement within our ecosystem. So main thing here will be you're having this time saving and cost saving experience with Redbeat Academy. So choose a future proof career is really important, and now that you understand what kind of careers would be the future proof types of careers, and time and cost saving are crucial too, right? You want to make sure that you want to land there, kickstart your career as soon as you could, because the landscape changed really quickly. And finally, I just want to highlight that, Redbeat Academy is always here to help. And I'm going to share this video of, just testimonies from some of the trainees, LX trainees, maybe a video that Nina could help to place before I think we move to Q&A, right?
There's many positive reasons behind this decision.
I've always wanted to be a coder. Why not diversify and add value to myself?
I believe that careers in tech will be in most demand. Therefore, I feel like I need to grab the opportunity to be a part of Redbeat Academy.
People talk about all the social media and everything. I think this is a good opportunity for me to learn, to know about how this digital marketing using the new way of market strategy.
I think UI UX can challenge me to use my left brain more on creativity and also solving problems.
Without a software, that hardware is just a piece of item. As we advance further and further into the future, we will definitely need more and more people gaining the knowledge in computer science.
Similar to working from home, you need a little time adjusting. It's so easy. You just need to attend classes by just logging online.
For me, not so much. Maybe because I have all the tools and equipment for the class, and also it's accessible anywhere.
I made new friends, having a hands-on experience. Right now we are doing the idea and prototype for our UX designs. I'm enjoying all this learning journey.
The ability to talk to computers through codes and a strings of instructions.
Just the ability to understand. I think previously I always thought these problems were out of my range, but now I am actually solving things in code.
Nowadays, the trend is keep going on the technology, whereby you need to learn or to cope the new things.
Never stop learning until you're old. I think that it is very important to always keep learning new things, whatever it may be, because knowledge is a virtue that actually makes us a better person.
The keyword is time management because you'll be working and also studying at the same time.
It might be challenging at the beginning, but I can assure you this is really worth it.
Investment in knowledge pays the best interest.
This is a myth buster. You don't have to be a math genius to do this.
It might be overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be amazed at how good you can actually be in your respective course.
You don't ask, just join the academy. It's worth it, and you got nothing to lose.
All right. So thank you so much, Ms. Chari, for that very detailed explanation on marketing and digital marketing and all sort of the efforts behind it. I think we can go on our Q&A session now. If you look at the comment section on your right hand side, which one would you like to answer first, Ms. Chari?
Wow. Okay. We have plenty of Christian here, so let me say, I think. How is digital marketing different from the other types? Hold on, right? When I refer to this question, I want to say that you are able to understand the key differences if you look into like the overall shift of consumer behaviors like media consumptions and the stories that I share with you. So when it comes to traditional marketing, is more into targeting like a mass audience previously, and now that with digital marketing we talk about a lot more into targeting at the right feed of audience, right? You're able to also retarget them, which previously with the traditional medias you may not be able to get the chance to do that, right? So again, the overall landscape will be different, and the strategy that you're going to use will be different as well. And if you wanted to know more, again, I'm not trying to be hot sell, but you can always just go to the digital marketing landscape course to know more. It's fairly affordable at this point of time. Okay, so that's the first question. And also, well, yeah, we have a plenty here that I want to talk more about the careers, not just marketing. A question is pretty cute here from Dora. Do you need to have high creativity to go into this field? Yeah, from Dora. Okay. Well, I guess, high creativity here, right? I always encourage people to think out of the box, okay? If you refer to, well, not just in digital marketing or not just in brand or marketing, in any of this career of yours, right? Creativity is one of the key things, right? You have to think off the box. You have to know how to, I wouldn't say that try to outstanding from the rest, but at least you need to always try your very best and think ways to improve, Mm-hmm. So creativity, I'll refer to a little bit more into that part of it. So you need that kind of right attitudes, right? In order to, for you to secure, in any field, okay? But if you say, referring to specific UX design, for example, because it involves creativity design, right? You have to do something, you have to work into not just the aesthetic value, but also you have to think from like, the user's point of perspective. So I think, well, I wouldn't want to comment too details about that particular course because I'm not conducting that course. But what I understand so far, right? If any things that you want to go into like advertising field or design related field, creativity is part of puzzle. Yeah.
Right.
So,
All right. Okay.
and I think we have similar question here, like digital and traditional marketing are two different mood. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the answers as well. Is Malaysia a great place for tech graduate? Like what our current job prospect? And as I said, right, the whole idea of Redbeat Academy when we set up this initially, well, based on my understanding, again, once I joined the academy, I was attracted to the whole idea. The whole reason why they set up this academy is really to help more Malaysian, to gain the right skills in this tech industry. So we are basically cultivating, nurturing the talent, within Malaysians that are able to secure it with like a guaranteed of placement of job, right? So you are able to do a trial, right? Something that I personally don't see in like other, service provider. That's what I could say.
Right.
Yeah. So again, is Malaysia a great place? Well, because Redbeat Academy is here in Malaysia, so I'll take the answer as yes. But most important thing is you want to look into, like we said here, how soon can you secure a job after you graduate, right? That is, for example, again, back to my story, even though I have my placement opportunities, but we have to go and find the companies by ourselves back then. So we have to send out our resume, we have to secure it with you have to go through application.
Yeah.
So that is not easy, right? It's not easy. Even not everyone are able to secure a placement, even though there is a internship programs, included in the entire college or university program, right? But you still have to go through the application by yourself. So by understand, that tedious process. And here, once is after you graduate from the course, and then you have that opportunities that we match for you, right? The academy helps you to match the position within our ecosystem. So we have like, if you understand now, right, with AirAsia app, you can get it like your food delivery, you can get like fresh food, you can also shop there, right? So it's a super app now with digital, with AirAsia in ASEAN. So those would be that affiliates of Redbeat Academy that secure your placement opportunities. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we have also what skills, right? Skill sets should students develop to succeed in this future-proof career? Okay. Like I said, like similar as Dora, right? So that is one of the skill set as well. Be creative, think out of the box, right? So, well, thank you, Dora, for answering the question. Well, it's related. So you need to think out the box. That's the first thing, right? At least the attitude is there, is right attitude. Nothing is impossible as long you have the right attitude, So in this case, be positive with the positive learning attitude. That would be the key, I would say, main mentality that you have to equip with yourself. And things change really quickly. So you need to be agile, right? You need to be also able to adapt in this fast pace of environment. That is another, I would say, things that you have to consider, right, in this tech industry. So, or any businesses, that relates to online, because we understand things change quickly, right? Every day.
Yes.
So like marketing as well, right? As a marketer, you have to keep up with the latest trend. You have to understand what's the latest movement. Yeah. So you need to be able to adapt in that kind of, fast-paced environment in order to sustain yourself in this, work. Yeah. In this kind of related work. And also you need to constantly, because we are dealing with, like I said, things change every, quickly. So even though like the developer team, for example, if anything that we have identified, then they have to, quickly rectify it. So those would be again, you need to be agile, right, in order to stay in this field. Yeah. So
Right.
I guess, well, that would be at least a little bit of a summary of what you would prepare yourself, right, in this career. Okay. I guess so. We have actually talked about almost, maybe all of them. I guess because the first one, like run away from. It feels like you can never run away from ads on the internet. Okay, interesting. Because on okay, it feels like you can never run away from ads on the internet. Perhaps you didn't look into your setting. Maybe,
Yes.
yeah, perhaps you didn't look into your settings. So it may be worth
Mhm.
for you, right, to look into your social media account, your profile setting, and check out, the app preference, check out, what kind of ads that you can actually hide from your social media feed, right? So check out all this kind of potential. And once you understand, right, how business or how does, what are the tricks or,
Yeah.
we use to target to the audience, you may also you are able to avoid receiving those
Right.
prevent as well, right?
Right.
So good and bad, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Um,
yes,
just to piggyback on that, I think I've read somewhere that people should be mindful of their cookie preferences. Like, you know how when you go onto a website, you have
yes,
like this dialogue, just accept all cookies kind of thing. Um,
right.
would that be related to your setting and how you get all these unnecessary ads that you didn't sign up for?
Yes. So cookies, you will actually see it when you browse website, right? If you notice nowadays, it becomes a little bit more prominent where they would
Yeah.
pop up and tells you, are you accepting all the cookies? Or if you could click into the advanced setting and look at, what kind of cookies that you're accepting. So
Right.
those would be, key point for internet browsing. But when it comes to like browsing, when you access to your Facebook, for example, right, then you're able to go to your personal profile setting,
Right.
also the app preference. So you'll be able
Mm.
to see, how can you hide a certain ads or what kind of data that you are actually providing to Facebook or the advertisers that you allow. So basically, you're able to get a little bit more, understanding about what kind of information that you are actually providing. You have provided to them, and you're also able to just disable some of the features there. So check out your profiles. Perhaps it could help. Yeah.
All right, I see. Thanks so much, Ms. Chai. I do have a couple of questions on my end, if
Yes.
that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, yeah, on digital marketing. Does digital marketing solely target social media? You know, like you said, we can see the trends, is decreasing and increasing. We can see an increase of social media apps that goes out of trend, like MySpace, and I think as of now, maybe Facebook among the youth. How does digital marketing go about the situation?
Let me just recap this question better. So it means that, could you repeat it again? Let me just, I'm
Yeah.
trying to,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So my first question is: the digital marketing solely target social media? Yeah, that's because social media trends, it comes and goes. Now we have TikTok and things like
Yes.
that. And Facebook, I feel like it's sort of declining among the youth. Like no one's really using it. Especially like just millennials now, if you can see. So how does digital marketing go about situations like this?
Okay. So this is where you have to look into your audience profile,
Okay.
right? Because before we wanted to, even do your marketing plan, work into your strategy planning, you need to understand several, I would say, key aspect first before you even look into the strategy by choosing which social media that you want to tackle. You need to first understand your own products, your own pricing
Right.
strategy, your own product design and placement that you want to, sales channels, and also you want to look into the customers that you are targeting. That is part of the audience profile. So once you understand the audience profile and then you get the market research data, and when you have the data, you'll understand what kind of channels that you're able to target at that specific audience that you wanted to
Right.
reach out. Yeah. So this is a scenario that would happen. It's the same thing, like you say, right? Things change from time to time. It used to be, so maybe you have a new social media channel pops up, like, in the near future, you do not know,
Yes.
right? So you need to just keep up to this kind of like latest landscape or movement, That's what we refer. And also, you have to constantly do your market survey, right? You assign it to a market research company so that you get the data from the research or surveys, and from there you analyze, right? So we do a lot of this data analysis. So you need to analyze the data, and then you understand the situation. So once you gather the insights, those insights will be the useful information for you to implement the strategy. So that's the whole process. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think I sort of understand a bit more. Just another question, Ms. Chai. Does digital marketing has often seen as a solution to so many marketing problems, but what are the challenges that comes with this field?
Challenges. Wow. Honestly, as I briefly explained earlier, my background, I wasn't graduated with digital marketing.
Right.
I walked through that whole journey from traditional marketing, right? So I came out, as I said, right, as an advertising industry, and then in advertising is the main thing, right, in marketing as well, because that's what you want to advertise the product. And then I shifted to marketing that to understand like the entire of that, product development and also marketing. And now it's a boom with the word of digital marketing,
Right.
a couple of years ago. So it's a boom of that words, and then everyone is coming in here and say, well, the reason this of having the term here digital marketing, as you know, right, is the shift of users behavior. It's a shift of pattern, and that would be something, I would say constantly, change as well. So in the future, potentially it could be maybe in the AI, manner. So things may, another terms could change again. It could be like automation. So this is where it comes to current phase when we work into digital marketing, not just understanding your audience like traditionally, and not just market it and retarget them or target them at the right space, but also we talk about automation. So that is the future that you're able to see as well, right? A lot more automation features will come into place. And I would see, the key challenge, I would say for all the digital marketers out there, but, personally, I think is you need to keep up to that kind of changes very, very quickly. Yeah.
Right.
So I am a good experience. I mean, good example, as you see, I have to shift from traditional marketers to digital marketer. And now my personal, challenge, I would say is, it could be something else in the future, very, very soon. Yeah.
Right. Oh, right. All right. Thanks so much, Ms. Treji, for that. I think we've come to the end of the session, but just a quick one to wrap things up. Do you have any parting words of advice for students who are interested in pursuing their studies and career in the digital industry or in the marketing industry?
Okay. Well, as I said, right, the two main points that we want to highlight, well, would be the time, because we understand things change very, very quickly, right? So in order for you to, now we know this is something in demand, right? This is the career that is in demand. And also future is there, but the thing is, it may evolve quicker than before, right? So time saving is the key, criteria that we want, or key factors that you want to consider when you want to choose, right, where to go for to secure this particular course, to get the skills, right, to learn the skills. So the time factor is one of it. And definitely besides the course, maybe it's not you, wouldn't be you paying the bill, but cost is the second factor. But as you, as the individual learners here, you want to think about the job, what kind of job that you're able to secure after the graduation, right? So the two key things that I wanted to highlight would be, think from that perspective, yeah, before you choose the right one.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Chayi, for your insights and perspective and the inspiring talk at the end for our SPM students. We hope that our audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Ms. Chayi, it's been a pleasure to have you on board with us. We hope to see you again in our next webinar if you'll have us again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me too. Right. It's my pleasure to share. Okay.
All right. Have a good day, Ms. Chayi.
Same to you. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you to our audience for tuning in to our webinar session with Ms. Chayi Lim of Redbeat Academy. Up next, we'll have Mr. Amirul Kamil Munawa from Ranaku Education and Training Institute, who will be sharing with us on building careers in the maritime industry. Now, Don't forget to check out Redbeat Academy while you're at the virtual fair. In the meantime, let's take a look and see what Redbeat Academy has prepared for you.
Looking for the next step in your digital career? Redbeat Academy will lead you the way. Get a head start with our comprehensive and compact courses. Be industry ready in no time and start building your digital career. Choose from our wide variety of courses like digital marketing, data analytics, software engineering, and more to upskill or reskill yourself. Redefine your digital journey with Redbeat Academy today at redbeatacademy.com.
If you just joined us, good afternoon and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will weigh in on a number of topics ranging from choosing an education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina, and today we have Mr. Amirul Kamal Munawa, Lecturer of Nautical Studies from Monaco Education and Training Institute, or R.E.T.I, who will be sharing with us about building a career in the maritime industry. I have our speaker in with us. I'll just pull Mr. Amirul to the stream. Hi, Amirul.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Thank you.
All right, that's great. Just a quick background introduction about our esteemed speaker today. Mr. Amirul Kamil Munawa bin Azhar is no stranger to the maritime industry. He is a master holder in maritime field under University Malaysia Terengganu and had experience working as a marine surveyor and maritime consultant. Currently, he is a lecturer under the School of Marine at Ranako Education and Training Institute. Before we begin, to our live audience watching, if you have any questions for Mr. Amirul, do leave a comment and we'll get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out R.E.T.'s virtual booth while you're at the fair. Mr. Amirul, you can start preparing your slides.
Okay.
Yes. And then I can just pull it into the stream. Okay. Mr. Amirul, can you can put it to your screen right now? It's not showing your slides.
I'm not showing you my slide. Wait.
Okay. Okay.
Is it?
Yes, you can
Is it
just put it to full. Yeah, you can just put it to full screen, and then I will pull it into the stream. Okay, perfect. All right,
Alright.
Mr. Amirul, whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
Alright. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to all. To all the participants here. To all the candidates of final SPM have done, and it's not too late. I say congratulations to all the SPM leavers. Okay, tak kisahlah whether your result good or bad. SPM is just a starting point toward your industry or towards your career future. Okay, let's start straight away. So today I want to sharing session with you about career in maritime industry. So a lot of people out there doesn't really know about maritime industry. What is maritime industry? Because maritime is a very big word, okay? Because it's combine a lot of industry inside the maritime itself. Because the maritime is a very big, generally big words with a big world inside it. Because you can see the world itself, 2/3 of the world is covered by the sea, right? And one of the third is land. So most of our thing is been transported to the sea. So the maritime industry is very big industry. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about maritime, so you know a little bit about it, and then toward it, so you will be get a little knowledge about maritime industry, right? So you open a lot of doors instead of after finishing your SPM, where we want to go after this. Maybe one of your choices can add up about maritime industry itself. All right. Okay, what is maritime industry? So apa itu maritime industry? So maritime industry is the most everything connected to the sea or waterways throughout the world, right? So anything that connected to the sea, we call it maritime. Okay, especially in relation to navigation, to shipping, and marine engineering. Okay, there's a lot of the term that when we use inside the maritime industry, such as ship navigation itself. When we say navigation, it's actually we navigate the vessel from one point to another point. We don't say that we drive the vessel. We say that we navigate the vessel, right? So, so the maritime industry is when we say about maritime, so automatically the first thing pop out in our mind is sea, is the vessel itself, right? So, so the maritime industry is very big industry. See, anything that connect to the sea or waterways is say inside the maritime. So the industry is a direct impact, okay, on the march of our daily life. Think about the oil that power our cars, the oil that we use, our electronic, and our coffee that we drink, the foods that we eat, the clothes that we wear. So most of them it come from the overseas. Everything, even though we have lunch before this, right? We have the lunch. So the lunch is the rice or nasi, kan? So the rice is actually been transported by sea. Okay, maybe from Thailand, they transported to the Malaysia by sea, right? So it's very important. This industry is very important actually, because without this industry, there's no connection and there's no trading have been done, and a lot of other things that we've been used daily cannot be transported to us, and we cannot get it, right? So let's say if this industry is suddenly shut down, so how can the rice being transported to us? And we got no rice there. We cannot eat, right? So this is very important. This industry is very important. It's very crucial, and it's very big industry. So if you want to step inside this maritime industry, so this is a good chance, and then maybe you can get a little knowledge about it. Okay, nowadays, 90% of the world trade is carried by the international shipping industry. Okay, 90% of the world trade. Imagine there's a lot of trading going on right now, right? So 90% of it, of the world trade, is being transported or by sea. Okay, almost everything, every single thing around us is being transported by the sea. Maybe it's not the end product, but maybe the initial product itself, like our rice, like our the grain, the sand that we use, maybe the coal itself, okay, the LNG, the liquefied gas in our stove, right? So all the this thing is came up and been transported by the sea. So you can imagine how big is this. All right, let me show you. This actually the picture of our world, okay, world map. See, so the blue one is the sea. Okay, you can see a lot of ocean there, the sea, and then there's a strait there. So a lot of this is being connected by the sea. Right, it's not all the land is being connected to each other, but the only route to go for one place to one place is the best way is by sea. You can use aeroplane maybe, so by air. So the transport of the mode is F3. Okay, whether it is by sea, by land, or is it by air. So the biggest one is by the sea, right? So you can imagine how many ship there's in this water. Say, a lot of country there, and a lot of trade have been going on. A lot of product, a lot of cargo need to be transported. So, as been statistic, almost 100,000 vessels that have been registered have been scattered around the world. Okay, that is the only vessel that have been registered. Okay, does not include that the fishing vessel, the archery vessel, so a lot of other vessel. So sum up almost to 200,000 vessel around the world now is operating and is now on moving or transporting our stuff. Maybe we are ordering something from China. maybe they are still ongoing into the vessel, okay, inside towards the Malaysia now, right? So this is the overall picture. Can you imagine how big is the industry, how big is the maritime industry itself? Because the world and then the sea itself is very big. All right. Okay, this is also the world map, but the blue one, the blue line is actually represented the route for the vessel to come in and come out, because this is the regular routes that have been used. Just to highlight that there's a Strait of Malacca there. Okay, so the Strait of Malacca is very important. Okay, if you go back to our history, so Malacca, okay, the kerajaan itself, the kerajaan Malacca during that, the Kesultanan Melayu Malacca. So Malacca have developed as the world ports. Okay, so very important ports. The trading between the eastern country and the western country will be on Malacca lah. So that particular time, until that bahasa Melayu have been lingua franca. So the people who going to Malacca to make trading there, so you can speak Malay. So that in that particular time, how important is up until now, the Strait of Malacca is still well known, and a lot of vessels coming into the Strait of Malacca to maybe they are going to transport the cargo or the product from maybe from the western to the eastern. They need to go through the Strait of Malacca, right? So now Strait of Malacca is, according to the statistics, almost 1,000 vessels per day is coming out from the Strait of Malacca, and also the busiest strait now, and also there's situated the busiest port in the world. We know that there is in Singapore. So Singapore is the busiest port in the world right now. So that's why Strait of Malacca is very busy, right? And thank to God, because Malaysia is state there, and Malaysia is there in the Strait of Malacca. It's actually, we know that you can develop a lot of maritime activity there, and a lot of maritime industry can be developed there, because it's in the ways of the vessel coming through. Okay. All right, now, so if you are going to expand your career in maritime industry, so let me show it out in three, can divide it into three parts of the maritime industry, whether in the management part, the shipping part, or the engineering part. So all these three parts is actually inside the maritime industry itself. Okay. Let's say if you like some adventurous, you like to travel, then you should go to the shipping part inside the maritime industry. If you like, let's say you like to sit on the computer to do all the documentation, you like some to do the report, so you can go to management part. If like something that need to be like engineering parts, okay, the machineries, so you should go to the engineering part for the maritime industry. So I'm going to list a few career or a few job in the maritime world towards these three particular part, right? Let's go to the first one, is engineering. So there's a lot of others job. Okay, this is the famous one that I will choose. Okay, for the engineering, you can be a naval architect of all the marine engineers. Okay, so naval architect is very, very famous courses, because without naval architect nowadays, we never have a vessel or a ship now, because long time ago the vessel or the ship is made up from woods. If you see the movie like Pirate of Caribbean that time, right? Say the vessel have been made up from the woods actually, because and wood is floating object. If you throw a wood or a woods into the sea, so it will float. But nowadays a vessel is made up from steel. Steel, the object will be sink because it cannot float. It's very heavy. How a naval architect can, create or build a floating steel, and very big and very heavy floating steel on the sea. Okay, so there's quite what can answer question yourself, how big is the vessel? It's very big vessel is very big and very heavy, and you put on the sea, it will float. That's the concept that have been used there. Okay, most of them you're using the buoyancy concept of the Archimedes concept. Okay, when throughout you choose, if you're using these courses, then you will learn a lot of things. It's also the naval architect done a lot of good job there nowadays. A lot of things have been developed, have been done there. So in order to easy the job scope for the seafarer out there. Okay, so for the marine engineer, focus on the engineering part, on the machineries, on the engine part. If they are going on board means that you are going on sea. They set sail on the boat or on the vessel, right? So they focus on the engine of the vessel itself. So all this you can learn, and this is I will situate it in this engineering part. Okay. Right. Next we have the management part. Right. So the management part is the part where if you like to do the documentation part, or you love to sit on front of desk, okay, and then all the reports. So this will be part, but this is also inside the maritime industry itself, right? Maybe you can be like one of the example is the authority itself. The authority is the Marine Department of Malaysia, the port authority itself, right? Maybe you can be a surveyor, right? A surveyor is the person who is charged to survey the thing. So anything that need to be surveyed. So there's a lot of survey need to be done, such as you can there are surveyor about the cargo itself. We call it cargo surveyor. Survey about bunker. Bunker is about the oil that you put into the vessel, right? You pump the oil into the vessel to be used by the vessel. That's called the bunker surveyor. And then there's a lot of surveyor also for the insurance surveyor, need to survey all this thing, right? So next we have the consultation parts, right? The consultation part is the consultant part. So anything that related to, like, such as you want to enlarge your ports, okay, you want to the biggest vessel want to come inside your port, so need to consult with the expert, right? That is shipping agent. Shipping agent is the person will to assist a person that need to transport their stuff, such as if you are selling products or cargo, you need to send to another country. So you need to have a shipping agent. So you need to ask them to find your ship, to find the ship, to fill out all your document, right? So this is shipping agent parts. Marine underwriters is the insurance, okay, insurance marines, including the insurance of the vessel, the personnel on the vessel, right? Anything related to marine. And we have the warehouse supervisor. So warehouse supervisor is the warehouse where you stake all the cargoes that have been transported to your country. So you need to be sent out to the warehouse before distribute, right? So this is only a few, but there's a lot of other job inside the maritime, like such as a broker, a ship broker, you have been ship agent, and then a lot of others career or other jobs inside the maritime management, focus on the maritime industry itself, right? This is only a few. Right, next is the shipping parts, right? So shipping part is can say this is my part because I'm from nautical studies, so this is focusing on the shipping parts, okay? Because whenever we say that about maritime industry, most of people think that working on board, working on the vessel, okay, going from another country to another country, bring out the cargo, the things that need to be transported, okay? It's not all about that. It's because maritime industry is very big. One of the sector is the shipping parts, right? So of course, the highest one is the captain or the master mariner. So the captain is, very famous and well known. So when somewhere say I'm a captain in the maritime industry, so this is captain, right? So you can be captain for the airline, okay? So the captain like for the maritime industry, we also call the captain who in charge of the vessel itself. Right, next we have the navigator. Navigator is the officer that helps the captain to navigate the vessel from one place to another place. Right, all called seafarer, whereas the person who working on board. We have the marine pilot. Okay, marine pilot is the person who help the captain to park their vessel. We call it park. Actually, it's the berth, to berth their vessel. Berth means that you're going to park the vessel lah. When the vessel coming into the port, so they need to park to the berth itself, okay, calling the berth thing, right? So the marine pilot will help the captain to berth it, right? Next, we have the engineer. The engineer who going on board. Okay, when set sail. Okay, when you are on the vessel, so the vessel will be divided into three departments. So the first department is the deck department. So that deck department is contain the master, the navigator, who actually will be work on the bridge itself. The bridge is actually the structure of the vessel where the person will be controlling the vessel. Okay, we call it the bridge. In easy way, it's like a cockpit. Okay, if in the airplane is a cockpit, so it's a vessel, we call it the bridge. Okay, so navigator will be sitting on the bridge, and then the second one we have the engine department. So the engine department will be situated at the engine room. So engine room will be at the downstairs at the vessel. All right, only focusing on the engine parts. And we have the support. That's the crew and also the cook. Okay, the crew will be helping in labor work, okay, such as painting and others that may ordered by the captain or the officer. And but the cook is the person will do cook on board, right? So let's take example of the cook. Let's say that the maritime industry is very big. Okay, even though you are cook, let's say you take a culinary courses. Okay, don't focus only you can be a chef on in the restaurant or in the hotel, but also you can be a chef on a vessel and going around the world just being a chef, right? So this maritime industry is very big industry. There's a lot of other jobs that will be inside it, right? Right. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the equipment or the thing that I've chosen a few things that being used on board. Okay, on board. Just focusing on board, right? Such as this is one of the thing that being regularly used on the board. Such as this one is we call it the sextant. So the sextant actually to help the navigator to find its vessel position. This sextant actually have been it's very old stuff, right? Because it's been used 1,000 years before by all the navigators. If you see the movie where a lot of sailors will see the using the stars, using the moon, using all the object, you can see famous one is using the stars to navigate their vessel. So one of the object needed to navigate to your vessel by using stars is by using this sextant equipment, right? So if you take the course such as in maritime industry, focus on the courses that you've chosen during your diploma or your degree. Maybe you take nautical studies courses, so you'll be learn how to use this equipment. And also there's a chart here. So the chart is actually represented the like a map represented the waterways there, right? Focusing. So there will be your plot your vessel around this chart, so you know the position of your vessel. All right, this is a few things that as on board, right? We have the e-perks, we will be a very important thing. Okay, is emergency position radio beacon. So imagine you are uh, stuck on the sea, all right? If your vessel is, let's say your vessel is under command, so you need to abandon your vessel. So you can imagine how big the sea is and how and could compare you and the sea. So it's very big, okay? And search and rescue will take times to search you and to rescue you. So this equipment is very important to locate it where you are at that particular moment. Okay, and also this is SARS. Okay, and this is the life raft. Okay, this life raft is actually a raft. Can and this life raft can accommodate almost to up to 10 personnel inside in one time. Okay, if you imagine this raft is very big, can accommodate almost 10% in one time. And also inside here you have ration, medicine, and also other survival kit here. But on board, this raft actually is this big inside this call it this luggage size. Okay, so it's floated, and it will be the air will become pumped inside here, right? So it's very cool things here. And also this is the radar. Will you always see in the movie, right? They use the radar, so it's very important when you go on sea. So radar is the most important thing nowadays. Okay, right. So there's a few cool things that a lot of other things, but this is only a few things that on board. That's I think it's very cool to show you. So if you are interested to take a course in maritime or going to the maritime industry, I'm sure you will learn this thing. Right, next. Right. So this is about the vessel of the ship, right? So I'm going to show you how big the vessel is. So and because the maritime industry is very big, so the vessel needs to be big enough to cater all of the thing that need to transport it. Right. So more than 100,000 vessel commercial fleet. Okay, I was saying you before, this is 100,000 commercial fleet only on commercial parts, not including all the vessel that like the fishing vessel, like the auxiliary vessel that need help to help the commercial fleet. Okay, so there's a lot of vessel, private vessel itself, private boats. Okay, that's not included there. It's only for commercial only. Right. So each vessel has own purpose, carrying different type of cargo. Yes, each vessel they are situated for their own type of cargo to carry their own type of cargo, and also a special type of vessel. Right, there's a lot of special type of vessel there. Right, at the first we have the oil tanker. Now this is the biggest vessel on the earth, right? For the oil tanker itself, right? So the oil tanker, the length or the biggest vessel now, the length is almost 450 meters. That is 4 times the football field. 450 meters. You can imagine how long is it, right? If you are running from the in front of the vessel up to the back of the vessel, you have to run for 400 meters. Okay, so it's very long, it's very big, the vessel. Next, we have the container ship, almost 400 meters. We have the bulk carrier, so to carry a bulk cargo. So the bulk cargo maybe the grain, the sand need to be transported. So we transport it inside the bulk carrier. Container ship is bringing a container. Oil tanker is bringing oil. Passenger ship is to transport passenger. Right. So this is the largest vessel. Right. So this common type of vessel that I'm going to share with you after this. Right. So let's go into it. Right. First, we have the oil tanker. This is the oil tanker that I said before. So the length is almost 450 meters. Imagine how big is this. It's a very big vessel. If you are sit next to the vessel, you can imagine how big is it. Like buildings, very big. The vessel is very big, right? So it's represented how big the maritime industry is, right? You can see this vessel. Right at the back is the bridge where to control the vessel itself, right? And this vessel is oil tanker. They are carrying oil, so the oil that we use daily to move our cars, like our cooking oil also. But this most the crude oil is for mobile, right? For the cars actually, right? Next, we have the container vessel. This is a picture of the container vessel, right? So I assume that a lot of you have seen a container before. Maybe when you drive away and then you see a container, a lorry bring a container on the back, and you see how big the container is. And then maybe if you go to a container cafe, maybe the cafe that made out from the container, right? So you can see the container is very big. One container is very big. So this vessel actually can cater for 23,000 container per per route or per voyage, right? 23 vessel at one time, 23,000 vessel. Okay, if you have 1,000 vessel in front of 1,000 container in front of you, so it's can imagine how big is it? Now it's 23,000. Okay, for this vessel only. So it's very big. Okay, so one container can fit for one car. Okay, maybe that large. Okay, so it's very big. This vessel is very big, right? It's only bring container. So nowadays container can bring many things inside container. You can transport the car, you can transport the oil inside the container, you can transport your groceries, the fruits will be transported by container. So a lot of things will be transported here. Not only focusing like the oil tanker will focus on the oil, the crude oil, but the container vessel will be carrying a lot of other stuff there. Next, we have the bulk carrier. This bulk carrier, quite big bulk carrier. They only bring a bulk cargo. So the bulk cargo such as the grain, the coal or iron ore. A lot of things will be transported here by the bulk carrier. Also, the rice will be transported by the bulk carrier also. All right, so we're transported inside the bulk carrier. So the bulk carrier is actually contain a lot of cargo hold, right? So this bulk carrier may be up to 400 meters. It's very long bulk carrier. Okay, bring all the stuff need to be transported to another ports. Okay, from another country to another country. So this is the job of the bulk carrier. Right, next we have quite small vessel. This is the multi-purpose of vessel or general cargo vessel. So this vessel is usually bring a lot of cargo. As the picture down here, you can see, you can bring up here, you can put a container there. You can also in the cargo hold can put a lot of other stuff there, right? Usually for multi-purpose transported, right? This very unique vessel size. You can see it's like a egg, right? This is called the LNG vessel, right? So it brings transported LNG. So LNG is liquefied natural gas, liquefied gas, right? So you're going to transport the gases in liquid state using this vessel, right? So imagine how to transport the gases. So this vessel is actually transport the gases in a liquid form. So you need to liquefy the gases. So to liquefy the gases, this is a common sense of the science, right? Okay. If you want to liquefy the gases, okay, from gases to liquid, so you need to freeze it, right? Freeze it. So this vessel is very, very cold, right? The chill, the temperature is can rise to up to negative 100 just to liquefy the gases, right? In order to transport the gases, right? Be used worldwide. All right, so this is LNG vessel. We call it liquefied natural gas vessel. Okay, transported LNG. Next, we have the RoRo vessel. This RoRo vessel. RoRo is roll on, roll off. Okay, this vessel is actually transported a vehicle, any kind of vehicle. Also, the train, okay, will be transported here by using this kind of vessel. Okay, like I say, each type of vessel will transport each type of cargo, different type of cargo. For this vessel, we transported vehicle, a lot of vehicle transported here. Okay, if you imagine how inside this vessel is actually, if you ever go to a shopping mall, then there's a parking space there, right? The parking lots there. Need to go, you need to find to the parking space there, and then if there's a full, then you need to go to the next level or the upstairs, right? You need to find another parking spots. Same as this, same. The design is same for this vessel. So here been spotted the park lot there. So the car or the vehicle will be parked inside the lot and they will be secure for being transported, right? So this is we call the RoRo vessel. This is very famous vessel, right? So most of people think when working in maritime industry, you are going board and then like navigate this kind of vessel. Actually, it's a lot of other vessels. So this is one of the kind of vessel. That's very famous vessel. We call it the passenger vessel, where it's transport the passenger from one point to one place to one place, right? So this is the biggest one on the earth right now for passenger vessel. We call it Symphony of the Sea. So I just made the comparison there. Okay, if you ever watched Titanic before, so the Titanic size actually is very big that time. If you see the movie, it's very big. Titanic is very big, right? But it's only 269 meters only. But now the Symphony of the Sea is 360 meters length. It's very big vessel. Just to compare to you, so you can see this building here, right? To compare with this building here or this vessel here. So this vessel is twice or 3 times larger than the building itself, right? Can accommodate, right? So Titanic can accommodate almost to 3,000 people, but this vessel can accommodate almost to 9,000 people at one time. So imagine how big is this. This is very big vessel, right? So the industry is very big. Okay, imagine you are working as person need to survey this kind of vessel. So you need to survey each room. You need to survey each person they're going to, right? If you are a person, if you're working as a surveyor, for the bunker surveyor, maybe you need to see the oil that need to be pumped inside this vessel. Then you're working as a surveyor. Then you are bunker surveyor. Then you need to check the bunker itself, whether the oil is enough or not. So there's a lot of a lot of work need to be done. If you are engineer, so you need to master this kind of engine. Okay, so like I say, the vessel nowadays around the world is almost 200,000 vessels. So how many person that need to be work in this maritime industry? A lot of person that we need to work in this part of industry. All right. Right, next, this very special vessel, you can see the shape, right? The shape is very unique shape. Okay, this vessel, we call it the semi-submerged vessel, where is semi-submerged vessel is to carry this thing. Okay, this is an oil rig. I think a lot of you know about oil rig. Okay, so oil rig is where we produce the oil. We find the oil and then they keep to find the oil, right? Okay, to bring oil up. Right, so the oil rig can be transported, okay, by this vessel. Okay, imagine this vessel actually can carry this oil rig on top of it, on top of this vessel, right? So the naval architect have done a really good job on this part, right? So yeah, they really nail it and they managed to design this kind of vessel, right? Okay, next, right? This is pilot vessel. If you are asking what difference between the pilot and the master, is different. Two job. It's very different things. A master or a captain of a vessel is the captain who will be command the vessel. So a pilot is the person who help the captain when to berthing the vessel or want to park the vessel inside the port. All right, so there's the pilot. If they're in the airline, so the pilot is the captain, but in maritime industry, is captain and the pilot is two different person, right? So the pilot will help the master or the captain of the vessel to park their vessel to the port itself. All right, next we have the tugboats. This is the boat that help largest vessel. You can see the largest vessel to up to 400 meters. They still need this kind of small boat to help to pull it, to stabilize it. So these small boats will help them to park the vessel inside the port, right? So this tugboat is very important, and also one of the important boats when they are going to park the vessel, right? Next, we have this kind of vessel. This is the supply vessel, where the supply item for the offshore structure. Okay, if you're working offshore on oil rig or on oil platform, so this kind of vessel will transport the item that you needed. So this vessel is very important in order to help the offshore structure maintaining their needs, right? So this is the offshore supply vessel, we call it, right? Okay, so just imagine how many vessels there are in the world, how many jobs that need to manage, how many things that need to be transported. So this maritime industry is a very, very big industry. Until we call it, it's a maritime world actually, because a lot of other personnel will be inside this kind of industry, inside this world. Actually, when you step inside this industry, then the job opportunity is very big, open up very big for you. All right, so maybe like I say, this is just a sharing session with you. So maybe before this you don't know about maritime world, so this is the opportunity for you. You get to know it. All right. So the reason to join maritime, why? Like I say before, the maritime is very big. Okay. So a lot of this list component is actually focusing on board when you are working on board. I'm focusing on working on board as a seafarer, as a captain, as a master. So this one will be focusing on. First is pay good, of course. Working in this industry never stop uh, because thing or the cargo will always come in and come out, right? That doesn't stop even though it's hari raya or holiday times. Always there, the vessel is always moving around. Because if the vessel stop or the maritime industry stop for one day, so a lot of things will be bad will be happen. Okay, we cannot get our rice, our food will be delayed. Okay, maybe there is important thing that need to be transported. Okay, let's say anything that's very important that transported by the sea. So that's why this maritime or this industry is keep going on. Okay, never stop. Okay, that's why it's pay good. Imagine the salary for a captain is almost up to 40 to 50,000 USD per month. Okay, that's normal in the maritime industry. The pay rate is very high. Okay, next tax free. Okay, for the seafarer who going on board, who set sail, the tax will be free. Okay, no need to pay taxes. Okay, the salary is very high. And next is career flexibility prospect, less competition. Of course, when you work in this kind of industry, there's less competition because uh, when you're working on board, actually, when you want to, going for another level, let's say you are from second officer or third officer, okay, going to the second officer, or you are chief officer going to become a captain. All right, so you don't need to wait for your company to ask you, okay, next you'll be a next captain after this. No, it's depend on you. Okay, as long as you are complying with the thing that we needed, such as you have the sea time, you have been on board for how many years, you have done all your courses there, so you are entitled to going for a captain, to a captain level, right? So there's no competition, have been less competition in this kind of field of work, right? Next, job security, of course, and then the next will travel if you are on board of the vessel, and then you have a set sail. All right, okay, so you will travel around the world. And that's the lifestyle, because the lifestyle is different when you're working on board. You are working for 4 hours a day and 8 hours of rest, and then rotate it, and also you always done the same routine job every single day. Long vacation and holiday. Why I'm saying that's because usually people going on board or going on sea, they are working for 6 months, and then they are going to be holiday for 3 months on land. We're going sorry, uh, sign off for 3 months. Okay, 6 months on board and then 3 months on land. Right. So 3 months is free. Then you are in holiday state, so you can do whatever you do. Waste a lot of money. You have been collected on sea, right? So you can enjoy yourself there. Okay, next is straightforward job and task, of course, because the job have been situated there. Okay, because there's the job. Let's say that you are second officer, so you know already what your job scope is. Then you just do what your job needed. Okay, if you are captain, then you know your job scope. It just do what your job been listed there. Right, it's a very straightforward job and task. And last one is fast promotion that I say is depend on you. If you are ready to become a captain, then you all comply with all the requirement that be needed. So just going to be a captain like that, right? So no need wait for promotion from the company or others. Just on you. If you are really ready to be a captain, then you state and then you comply with all the needed requirement, and then say wait, you can be a captain. All right. Next, okay, joint education, Aeronautical Education and Training Institute. All right. So at Aeronautical, we have a lot of we have maritime courses. We have School of Marine, where we offer 3 courses. There's diploma in maritime management, I say the management part, diploma in maritime, diploma in cargo survey, and also nautical studies, right? So a lot of picture this is nautical studies, right? We have the simulator, this nautical studies student, right? Okay, the equipment there we have, and also we have our own pool, and also our own facilities. Okay, if you're going on board, so you need to attend a few courses that have been listed there by Marine Department. So you need to comply with that. So you need to go for training. So the training you can just do it in Ranako. If you're a student, so you can do the training in Ranako itself. You don't need to go to another places to do training. Okay, so I think that's all from me for today. I hope the sharing session will be enough, and yeah, good luck for the all the aspirants. Right.
All right, thanks so much, Mr. Amiro, for that detailed explanation on maritime industry. I think we can go ahead and look at the questions from our audience. If you look over our comment section, I might have to scroll down a little bit. Can you see it, Mr. Amiro?
No, I cannot see it. Which part? Oh, yeah, okay, wait.
Yes.
Okay.
The first question will be from Adit. Can you see it? It's right above Zulfa's
The
Rina.
first question is I think the one is which one, right? Alright, so okay, I take the from Fazrina Anissa, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Right. Right. So a few months ago, about Suez Canal obstruction, my question is: this something that happened a lot? Why that building? Right. So in the slide before, I thought I just show to you the Suez Canal actually. So the Suez Canal is very important channel at this in this moment, because it can shorten the time taken. Okay, if you are from western side to the eastern side, you want to bring the stuff to the eastern side, so you need to go through this Suez Canal, right? So the lately incident, because of the vessel have been stuck there, okay, so all the vessel be congested there. Why didn't the Suez Canal actually take times, right? When you widen the channel, you always need to follow the calculation need to be made, right, in order to widen the channel, and this must be needed. Why need to widen the channel itself, right? So widen the channel is not a very effective way in to help to reduce the thing that happened lately. Actually, the Suez Canal itself have already have their own standard and have their own SOP that need to be followed. So if you are enter the channel, so they already have their lists. So you need to follow this step, this step, this step. When you come here, you need to follow this step. So an incident shouldn't been happen at that time and moment. And then again, there's also a pilot on board of the vessel actually to help the captain. If the captain is not familiarized with the channel, so the pilot will help the captain. So on board as well, right? So widening channel is good, but not necessary for this time and moment, because actually if you see the Suez Channel itself, you divide it into two. There's one way for going forward and one way to this way,
Oh.
right? So the correlation will be not.
Oh, I see. So you're saying, Mr.
Right.
Amiro, the
So there's a lot
accidents,
of channel.
like,
If you see if you want to know about.
oh, sorry, I think there might be some bit of a lag right here. Mr. Amiro? Yeah, I was about to ask the question. Are you saying that the accidents aren't
Sorry.
supposed to happen?
Yeah, yes, yes. Sorry.
Can you hear me,
Is
Miss
it?
Amira? Oh, I think there's a bit of a lag.
Hello? Okay, right.
Samira, can you hear me?
Yes, all right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. I guess my question was is that was the accident that happened at the Suez Canal wasn't supposed to happen because usually, like you said, that the Suez Canal is built like how it's supposed to be built, and there are pilots and I guess captains that navigate these vessels. So in essence, the accidents shouldn't happen, but that they do happen despite because of circumstances.
Okay, because there's a lot of other factors itself. Because it's not because when we're working in this kind of industry, okay, human error is always there. Okay, you cannot avoid
Mm,
human error. So incident, yeah, will be happen, but we need to minimize it to
right.
save, okay, to the safe parts, right? So that's it. Okay,
All right. All right. Thanks.
working in industry is all about safety. So safety is the most
Right.
important part. Because we're working with
All right.
machineries and bigger things, you see a lot of big things there.
Okay. Thanks, Mrs. Samiro.
All right.
Right. Okay.
Okay. One more question. Can?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yes, yes. You can answer as much questions
All
as
right.
you want.
Okay. I'll take the Saratan. Do you
Okay.
need strong maths? Do you need strong maths to go into the maritime? What about other subjects? All right. So depends on the parts where you chosen. If you're going to be a seafarer or you want to be the navigator on board or you
Mhm.
to be a engineer. So yeah, math always. And the second one is physics. Or you
Right.
need this both. It's very important part. Okay, if you're going to on the maritime or the management part, so it's not really taken into
Ah,
account.
I
Depends on
see.
which part you are.
All right. Okay. I think. All right. Thanks, Mr. Amira. Um, I do have a few questions on my end when I was watching your slides. If that's okay, Mr. Amira.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. There seems to be different aspects in the maritime industry. Like you mentioned, management and shipping. What's the pathway like for an SPM graduate to get into each sectors? From SPM to their, third year education, are they the same?
No, the qualification is different
Okay.
because let's say this maritime industry is very big. Okay, there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of they are divided into three like before. Okay, the engineer part, the navigation part or the shipping parts, and also the maritime part. The management part. So you can choose define on your SPM result. Okay, depends on it. If you are good in physics or you're good in maths, then you like some adventures. Okay, you want to uh working on board, right? So should take the shipping parts. Okay, become uh, navigator, or maybe you like engine, right? And then your SPM result is good on in physics, in math, and also in science. Then you can be engineer. But
Mm.
if you, let's say your passion depends on passion, right? If you are a chef before and then maybe you take culinary parts, you still can work inside this maritime industry as a chef. Like I said before, you can be a cook on board. Okay, so depends on you.
All right. Okay. Just another question. In related to the different aspects, can a business graduate be part of the management sector in the maritime industry, or is there a specific course a student to take in order to work in management in maritime?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So management part. Sorry, it's not the management part. What is it? The
Yeah, in under management, like, do you have to be business graduate? Can you be a regular business graduate to work in the management sector under maritime, or is there a specific management in maritime that a student needs to take in order to
Uh,
work in that sector?
no, no, no. There's none specific unless there's on the operation part. But in the management part, it's same as in land, but focusing only on the vessel itself or on the shipping parts itself. Okay, if
I
let's say you
see.
are a management student before, it's not maritime management, but it's management student. You still
Right.
can work on the maritime industry,
I
but
see.
you need to familiarize with a lot of term in maritime that have been used.
Mm,
Okay, maybe you
I see.
are an insurance person before, you learn about insurance. Okay, then you can be an insurance in maritime industry also, right? And then you need to learn a little bit about the terms that have been used there. Maybe the ports,
All
the
right.
vessels there, right?
Is there a certain certificate they need to get in order to be, I guess, in a lack of better word, legit or valid in the maritime industry in order to work in that field? Like you mentioned, you need to be familiarized with the industry itself. So if you're just working in insurance or just working in business, is there a certain certificate that you need to get in order to pass into the maritime industry?
As I know, there's no certain certificate that you need to take in order to you to work in this maritime industry unless you are working in operation parts.
I
Okay, let's say
see.
you are to become a seafarer. Okay, you want to be
Mhm.
on board. So there's a lot of certificate that you need to attend and you need to have, right? And then
Right.
this certificate will be endorsed by Marine Department of Malaysia,
I
which
see.
is being recognized by the whole worldwide because when you're working in this industry, this involve the international. Okay, a lot of people come from another country. Okay, let's say you are on a vessel, on a boat, okay, on a vessel, on a ship. So you can meet a lot of others, people from different kind of different country. Okay,
Hmm.
maybe your captain is from China, maybe your chief officer from India, right? And you
Right.
yourself from Malaysia, right? So the certificate will be endorsed by international body. Right? So this certificate actually will be endorsed by Malaysian Marine Department, but
Mm-hmm.
been recognized by the worldwide, right? So
I
this certificate
see.
is very important, right?
All
But
right.
you
All right.
highlighted about the certificate, right? So let
Mm-hmm.
me highlight a little bit about Ranako itself, R.E.T.I
Okay.
itself. If you are studying R.E.T.I in the Ranako Education and Training Institute, actually, the student, okay, your student will be get this kind of certificate free. Okay, we will give you one certificate free. We call it industry certificate for free. Okay, let's say you want to be on board a vessel. Okay, after finish diploma, then you want to go on board a vessel. So you need this kind of certificate. Let's say you need a basic training certificate. We call it basic training certificate, right? So this certificate is must if you are going on board. Okay, so after finish diploma, usually you will go to training facilities where they can endorse you this certificate. But in Ranako itself, after finish it, okay, we will give you this certificate. You just attend it for free in Ranako.
I see.
This special for student.
All right. Thanks, Miss Samir. Are there any other questions that you'd like to pick up?
Uh, let me see. Um, is it is it uh
No
is it
pressure.
don't see- no, right? Say I think not right now, right?
Yeah, all right. No worries. No worries. All right. Just, now that we've come to the end of our session, just to wrap things up, do you have any parting words of advice for students who are interested in pursuing their studies in the maritime field?
Okay, I would like to welcome all the SPM leavers, or if you are really interested in this kind of field, or you just doesn't know which part or which career you want to take, this will be good career or the path that you can take because maritime industry, I say, is very big and it's not that affected by the economic right now
Mm-hmm.
because usually the thing that being transported is the needed like the rice, okay, the grain that we need daily, the oil, right? But they always been transported because that is needed. right? So let's say there's not being affected that much. Okay, so
Mm.
this industry is very big industry. Even though you are you want to jump for another place to another place is very big because very wide, and it's international parts can go to another places. Okay, because we speak in same language. That's why we call it the maritime industry or maritime world because usually the terms that we use and the thing that we speak is on the maritime language we say it. Because it's very simple. When you step foot inside this maritime industry, it's a lot of opportunity then. You have a lot of opportunity.
All right, all right. Thanks, Mr. Admiral. Thank you for your insight and perspective and a detailed explanation, like exploration into the maritime world itself. We hope that our audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Mr. Admiral, it's been a pleasure to have you on board with us. It's a very informative session. I feel like I've learned a lot in this past 1 hour. Hope to have you again in our next webinar if you have us. Mr.
Sure,
Admiral,
sure.
thank you so much. All right,
All right,
all
thank
right,
you. Stay safe.
all right. Bye, Mr. Admiral.
Bye.
All right, thank you to our audience for tuning in to our webinar session with Mr. Emerald Kamil of Ranako Education and Training Institute. Up next, we have Dr. Ram Gopal Raj from Redbeat Academy, who will be sharing with us on what you should consider when deciding the right university. Now, don't forget to check out Ranako Education and Training Institute, or R.E.T.I, while you're at the virtual fair. In the meantime, let's take a look at what R.E.T.I has prepared for you. For those of you who just joined us, good evening and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will be weighing in on a number of topics ranging from choosing education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina, and today we have Dr. Ram Gopal Raj, Director of Strategy and Innovation of Redbeat Academy, who will be sharing with us about choosing the right university after SPM and what you should consider. I have our speaker into the stream here with us. I'll just pull Dr. Ram into the stream. Hi, Dr. Ram.
Hi. Hi,
How are
Nina.
you?
All right. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, that's great. Just a quick background about esteemed speaker today before Dr. Ram proceeds with the presentation. Dr. Ram started his tech journey early, learning C programming at age 7, having obtained his PhD in artificial intelligence in 2011. He spent the next 9 years rising up the ranks of academia. Seeking greater challenges beyond the ivory tower, he jointly founded a successful tech startup that prospers to this day. But the thrills keep coming as more adventures await at Redbeat Academy. All right. Now before we get into our live audience watching, if you have any questions for Dr. Ram, do leave a comment. I will get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out Redbeat Academy's virtual booth while you're at the fair. Now, before Dr. Ram proceeds with his presentation, let's just take a quick look at Redbeat and what they offer you.
Looking for the next step in your digital career? Redbeat Academy will lead you the way. Get a head start with our comprehensive and compact courses. Be industry ready in no time and start building your digital career. Choose from our wide variety of courses like digital marketing, data analytics, software engineering, and more to upskill or reskill yourself. Redefine your digital journey with Redbeat Academy today at redbeatacademy.com.
All right, there you have it, a quick look at Redbeat Academy. Dr. Ram, I'm going to pull your slide into the stream.
Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
Okay, hi there, everyone. I welcome as many questions as you have. As you can see, I've kept no branding on my slides because I'm talking to you guys about what to decide when you're choosing any university, or what to decide when you're, well, making up your mind over what kind of future you'd like. And just what I'd like the audience to do right now is take yourself back to that time when you were young, when you knew about something that you wanted to do or wanted to be. Just keep that in your mind. And a lot of us say we want to change the world. We're going to be super happy when we grow up. We want freedom. Everybody wants freedom. Oh, I want the freedom to explore. I want an adventure. University is supposed to be an adventure. When I go to college, I'm going to learn all of these useful things. And I'm going to go out there and do whatever I want. Okay? So I want you to go back later throughout this entire talk today. I want you to hold on to that feeling, that impression that you had when you were much younger. And remember all of the possibilities that you had when you had this sense of wonder, when everything was so perfect. Keep that in your mind. All right? And then as life goes on, as we learn more and more, and look, the problem with the way that education works is we generally hold a stick to everybody. There's always, from the time you're young, from the time you're a kid, everybody tells you stuff like, if you don't eat your vegetables, you won't grow up big, strong, and healthy. Oh, if you don't go out and do science and technology, nobody will give you a job. If you don't get all A's, that's the end of your life, because you'll never find a university that will accept you. And if you don't go to university, that's the end of it. All right? So you will notice that instead of telling you everything you can do, a lot of the people around you have been telling you all of the stuff that you cannot do or might happen to you, nonstop filling you with fear and dread. Well, I want you to know that you don't have to have this feeling of fear and dread. All right? So we went through this journey. We grew up. Everybody told us we have to have some sort of ambition. What was your ambition? The first year in school, grade school, primary school, they told you, or one of the common questions from your teachers would have been, what do you want to be when you grow up? Your parents will tell you, mom, dad will tell you, oh, you have to set a goal. Everybody tells you, set a goal. Everybody goal setting nonstop. Oh, okay, if you don't set a goal, you'll never get anywhere. You have to put a timeline on it. You have to get all A's. I mentioned that. God forbid, if you grew up in my family and you got a B, oh, life was rough. Oh, and then when you go to university, oh, you have to be an honors student, first class honors. All right? And should that be the case? I want you to ask yourself today, should that be what you want? Everybody has to start young. We put our kids in music class, computer class, programming class, everything. A 7-year-old has a busier schedule than a CEO nowadays. Right? We start them off super young. But again, how much of that has brought you joy? How much of that do you feel that you really want to continue into adulthood? And that's what you have to keep in your mind today, okay? Keep in your mind what you want to do. What are you good at? Of course, again, as I mentioned, people love to put all of these fears in your heart. Everything is about fear. Oh, what about my student loans? When I graduate, I have to pay off my student loans. Oh, car loan. Yeah, okay, but not during the lockdown, right? No car? Oh, very good. In that case, we're working from home. Fine. Housing loan. Oh, even bigger price tag. Housing loans, price tags. Now you're stuck alone. So I have a small quiz for you. Me personally, later you can put in the comments or questions how this talk works, okay? I have a question for you. I have never in my life bought a car, but I've also never used a ride-hailing service. So how did I manage to accomplish that? I can't possibly have been working from home the whole time, right? So then reality strikes. You're stuck. You're no longer that little kid. Now you finished your SPM. You're deciding SPM, O levels, whatever level you're at. You're faced with a decision now, this huge life-changing decision. And everybody around you, especially your loved ones, are giving you all sorts of advice, especially the back in my day advice. So I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, later I'll let you know why I have the experience. And I've experienced all of this, everything that I've talked about. And I'm 100% honestly telling you, it does not have to be a fear-filled decision. It does not have to be a decision that you make with apprehension. There was a time when going to university was a place where you made your ambition, your dream, whatever you wanted to be come true. I'm not saying it's not the way now, but let me just let you know, if you're reading the curriculum that is going to be covered or whatever, or someone handed you a pamphlet, or you talk to somebody from that university or institution or organization, and it seems like it's really, really tough and it's going to be some serious torture there, it's not going to get better. All right? You have to pick something that resonates with you now. You're not, if you don't like it now, you are not going to love it in 4 years' time. And this is the other thing. I don't want you to forget, when you're filled with all of those thoughts, all of those things that you have to weigh up and make decisions in, sometimes we make decisions based on fear, based on apprehension, based on all sorts of voices swimming around in our head, and we forget that at one point in your lives, in everybody's life, everything was so clear. There was this dream that we had. Now, of course, not everybody can do what they absolutely love. Trust me, I've checked. Nobody will pay me to watch TV. So, yes, it's true. It's true. I mean, there's a reason why we have to pay to watch a movie. Yes. But that doesn't mean that you have to do something that's pure pain. Okay, you shouldn't dread having to go to work. That's what I'm telling you now. You're at the stage in your lives, I mean, assuming you're an O-levels person, but anybody, wherever you're at, even if you're in a job, if you happen to be watching now for some reason, and you're in a job that you find is absolute torture, well, there is an alternative. You don't have to keep doing that. You just need to open up your eyes and look for the opportunities. Okay? Just look at the possibilities. Now, success is all about being in the right place with the right person. Okay, I have nothing against left-handers, but don't get left out. When you're looking for the right institution to join the one with the people that you get along with. I know now it's kind of tough because everybody's at home, but if you're talking to the people from that institution, be it their students or their student union or their student body or their lecturers or academics or trainers or whatnot, if those people resonate with you, you get along with them, you can share the same vision as them, that's a really good start. Because if you only cared about the curriculum, you can just buy a book. A book will give you plenty of knowledge. It's the people that make those organizations great. And make sure you look for the right people, because those people make up that institution's culture. When you talk about this education, the environment that you will be in, there will be a culture that you will be able to absorb. There will be parts of this culture that will become a part of you in the future. These things will contribute greatly to your success in future. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is look beyond just the curriculum, look beyond just certificates in whatever you do. If it's a job and you find that the organization has a message that resonates with you, that's probably the right one for you, because you probably share the same vision. Of course, again, I do know that most of you have to satisfy your families. All right? I know I did, right? So, I mean, this is going to be very cliche, but over here in Asia, if daddy picked what I was studying, and daddy did pick what I was studying, okay, kid, my dad picked my undergraduate degree for me. All right, I'll get that out of the way now. I didn't have a say in it. And yes, I did one of the 4 you see on screen there. Okay, another exercise. I know this is not a fully interactive session, but nonetheless, you can ask me the questions later, okay? Now, what I want you to do is put down a list somewhere or in your head. Just talk about the top 5 people that you admire, okay? Talk about the top 5 people that you admire, that you would like to be like, or that you would love to emulate or work with, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, if you have that list in your head, ask yourself, did you pick them because of the degree that they were holding? I don't think so. You picked them for a lot of good reasons, but the degree they were holding was not one of them. Okay? So now we come to skills versus knowledge. What's the difference? And this is very critical because in the end, you're not just going to university to you're going to just the playground or anything to have fun. You're trying to get something from that university or institution or academy, whatever it may be. And what's the difference? What's the skill? What's knowledge? Well, let's look at it from the perspective of why you would want to study all of these things. Well, it could be that some of you just want to study for fun, but I don't know what proportion of you guys fit into that category. Most of you are looking at your futures, right? Now, when you get the job, are people going to use your skills or are they going to use your knowledge? Because like I said earlier, knowledge is in books. If you really only wanted knowledge without skills, you can just buy a boatload of books, a huge pile of books, and get all of that in your head, and you have plenty of knowledge, but you still have no skills. Okay? If you bought a book on how to play the piano, but never actually played the piano, you have knowledge about how to play the piano, but you have no skill at playing the piano. And when you start working, and when you become a professional, it will be your skills that count, not just your knowledge. And again, I'm going to point out right now, I have plenty of certs. I have enough certs to fill 2 folders. Okay, most of them are kept by my dad because I got most of them from my dad. It's your ability. It's what I do now is based on my ability. All right, people don't check my cert every day. Another example is that when your toilet is overflowing and you've called the plumber, I don't think any of you have ever checked that person's cert. You just want to make sure that person can fix the leak, right? So just keep that in mind when you're trying to equip yourself. And what should you study? Well, that's up to you. Remember the vision I told you? Well, the other question you have to ask yourself is, what are you good at? Everybody's good at something, okay? Don't come and tell me I'm good at nothing. Everybody is good at something. There must be something that you do that you seem to do better than all of the other stuff that you do with a lot less effort. There is something that you're good at. That's a good step forward, because when you're picking the university or the institution, please, if you are intrinsically good at something and you like doing it, or at least it's not really bad doing it, that would be a really good direction to go. Of course, don't say that you're really good at eating and sleeping. Trust me, if there's any job that offers for those two after watching TV, I've already booked that, okay? Like I said, talent, all right? You don't have to appear on a talent show or anything like that. Everybody will have something they're good at. Okay, you just have to find those things that you're good at. Find an institution that will help you polish those things that you're good at, and you're good as gold. The other thing is, don't think of this journey of education as one size fits all, that you'll just study now and forever hold your peace. I'm not sure about you guys. I don't know how many of you use a 5-year-old phone. So if you would not use a 5-year-old phone because it's so outdated, why would you stick to a more than 5-year degree? I know that you picked up some knowledge and it proved that you are qualified in something, but you should never stop learning. That's something that's really important. Never, ever stop learning. Whether it's in a small reskill or a small upskill, whatever career that you have, you can always get better. It's always about getting a little bit better every day at what you do. Now, the reason why I'm taking out the term university is, it depends. Some of you might decide not to go to university. Some of you might decide to go straight into a job. That's fine. What I'm here to tell you is that's totally all right. If you decide to get a short certificate in, it could be in anything. It could be in art, it could be in design, it could be in marketing, it could be in a basic web application development certificate or course. If that allows you to start working and pursue your dream, and that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Okay? If you want to go to university, go to university. Just make sure that it's your decision. And whatever organization you go to, whatever university you go to, among other things, what you will see in this particular slide, make sure that that organization will allow you to shine, will enable you to be a better version of yourself. You have to have growth. If they're squishing you on the head day and night trying to fit you into a mold that is what they think is right, unless you're a delinquent, okay? If you're setting fire to the buildings, please, no, that's something else. But still, you should feel comfortable with your growth. You should feel like they support you becoming better at what you're doing, not hammering you on the head to make sure that you fit in a particular textbook. And again, make sure that they're giving you more than just knowledge, because you can get that from books. It's way cheaper than going to university. And make sure that it gives you the opportunity to meet other wonderful, fantastic, beautiful people such as yourself. You're not going to be learning in silo, okay? God knows how long the lockdown will last and all the study from home. But trust me, go out there, meet people, meet the lecturers, meet the academics, meet the trainers, whoever they may be, meet your fellow students. It will change your life. The most important thing is, wherever you go, whatever you do, make sure that you always facilitate growth and self-improvement towards a better future, not just for you, but for everyone around. Now, so I've been talking now, 15, 20 minutes, and you're wondering, okay, so why should I listen to this guy? I think, well, Nina mentioned who I am, maybe, but I think I can be Googled. If you type in those letters, I think the only thing above me is the Goat Ram and Ram Gopal Varma, right? So thanks a lot for pushing me down the list. But I think I'm like number 5 or something. So not bad, right? Not bad. Considering you can't find anything else about me, there's 0 social media presence and all, and yet I'm listed, so I have to be reasonably good at whatever I've been doing over the past few years. So yeah, I've had a decade professionally in a university and in academia, and I've spent over 20 years of my life in universities. So I'm pretty sure that I can tell you for a fact that whether or not you choose to go to university, it's great. If you want to go, don't let what I'm saying change it. Go to university. If you want to go all the way and get a PhD, good, great, do that. But if you are having second thoughts about going for a degree, there are so many alternatives that you can take, so many less costly alternatives. And when I talk about cost, I'm not just talking about financial cost. Remember, if you spend 4 years in university, you guys are probably, at least what I think is the audience, you guys are probably about 18. So let's say 20. That's 20% of your life that you're going to be spending in this one place to get that one certificate. So you better make up your mind. Do you want to save the time? Do you want to invest the time? And if you invest the time, what's your return on investment? So I did mention, grow, do what you want to do, but you still have to adhere to rules, all right? I am all for thinking outside the box. I'm all for expressing your freedom, your individuality. Wonderful. But there are still rules that we need to follow. So what I'm trying to tell you is, make sure that whatever school you choose will not mold you like a robot according to their rules, but will allow you to become the best version of you that you can be. And personally, I've always found that the most fulfilling things to learn in terms of skills are something that allows you to build. Whether you choose to be a carpenter, something that allows you to add value to a system. Okay, I'm not going to say which careers are good or bad. I will just talk from my perspective, which is why for the longest time I worked with programming, because it is a wonderful industry, this web application or application development industry, because it is one of the few industries on earth where you have practically 0 raw material cost. You can make so much of a difference with no raw materials. It literally allows you to create wonderful things. And look, you guys are watching me now. nobody's actually face to face with me. All this was created in code, right? So it really allows you to be free. So yeah, works for me anyway. But please don't be misguided. I'm going to give you an example now. Well, apparently, recent studies have proven that wearing a face mask during this pandemic, apparently it improves the quality of sleep at night. And I happen to agree. P.S. Disclaimer, in case you didn't get it, this is a joke. Please follow the SOPs. I don't want to get fined. Okay, just a joke. So I'm going to wrap it up right now. Number one, pick what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with it, you're not going to grow to be comfortable with it. Okay, you have to adapt. But if you're utterly not comfortable with it at all, you're not going to suddenly enjoy doing it. Okay. In the end, in general, like I said, there may be some of you who will study for the joy of it, but a vast majority of you watching will probably be doing it to make sure that you're gainfully employed. So please make sure that whatever you're studying will allow you to get that gainful employment. You also have to decide at the beginning of now, because you have the best opportunity to make a change now. At the end of it, will you still need to undergo additional training before you are able to successfully navigate the work environment? And as an employer, now I'm on the other side as an employer, it's really frustrating when a person, a graduate of whatever institution comes, and I have to send them for additional retraining. That is a raw deal. That's like buying a car and having to assemble it before I can even drive it. It's not how I want it to be. And I'm sure that none of you want to be in that situation. And the other thing is, like I said, you're investing a fifth of your life, right? You really have to decide how much of what you are learning are you going to actually use day to day? Because you're paying for every one of those hours. So how much of it is actually going to be of use once you've graduated, once you're doing that thing that you wanted to do, that dream that you've always had? You need to make sure that your time invested is not just about money. You can always earn more money. You're never going to earn more time, okay? That's the truth. Thank you from me. So thank you. Have a nice day. Visit redbeatacademy.com. And that's the end of my talk, Nina.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ram, for your very detailed explanation on students' options after SPM. Now let's take a look at the questions. You can just look at the questions in the comment section on your right. I have to scroll down a little bit, Dr. Ram. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy mackerel. It's a whole lot of, I don't know what.
Yeah, it was from the previous session, so you might have to scroll down.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay, I got it. Okay. Do your courses operate on a strict schedule or is it flexible? Redbeat Academy, we also have part-time options. We have flexible options. So, well, Chan, there are just about as many options as anyone would need to make sure that you have something that fits you. We have everything from full reskilling, what we call full reskilling on our site. Full reskilling is an alternative to going to university. Okay, it's like 6 months long, 3 to 6 months. We make sure you're job ready. That can be done part-time, but of course, you can't have absolute flexibility. If you want real flexibility, we also have stuff like our bite-sized courses where you learn everything based on your availability. So you can take one class at a time, if and when you can mix in digital marketing, cybersecurity, so on and so forth. I hope that answers your question.
Dr. Ram, if that's okay, I have a question sort of to piggyback on Chan's question.
Okay.
Yeah, can SPM leavers register under Redbeat Academy and can they carry this certificate into the working world? If not, can they carry the certificate abroad?
Okay, so first of all, yes, all SPM students can register for any of our courses. If you are not familiar with technology, I would suggest that you look at what we call digital fundamentals before moving into the learning track. Digital fundamentals full-time is only a month, so it's not a heck of a lot of catching up, but it will equip you to successfully complete the learning tracks. There are 6 learning tracks, okay? The next part of that question was, can I successfully take it into the workplace? Yes, you can. And why am I so sure? One is our certificate is recognized by Google Cloud. and therefore making it global, as well as why would an employer recognize it? It's simple. Redbeat Academy is part of the AirAsia ecosystem. We were formed to reskill and upskill our own staff to make sure that they can do new roles. So we have people who were once pilots now working in cybersecurity, and ground engineers working as software engineers. So we recognize it, and many other organizations too. So yes, it's recognized. I saw that you're partnered. Yes, Aina. So answer to your question is yes. It will be quite easy. In fact, if you do the full learning track and you do well in your capstone, which is essentially your fully guided internship, which more than likely will be within the AirAsia ecosystem. Well, if you do well at that, basically the job is yours.
All right.
Teresa asks whether I've always known what I wanted to study. Actually, what I'm doing now and the fact that I got into computers, yes, I've always wanted to be a scientist. I want to be a scientist. Like, okay, I didn't know what it would take, but I always back then imagined that you would either, when you think scientist, you either think white lab coat with beakers and chemicals, or some guy surrounded by, all of the computing machinery, right? So I ended up as that. But yes, if you want to know which of the four I was forced to take by my dad, was engineering. So I started off as an engineer, but I decided to go back to what I wanted to do. So that's that one. And question from Haru, what's the best option for someone who wants to get into the workplace? I've heard even having a degree won't guarantee a job. You're absolutely right, because it depends what your degree is in. Like I said, you get hired not for your degree. The degree only gets you the interview. But what gets you the job is actually your ability. And what gets you promoted in the job is your ability to grow in that particular job, how well you do it. So my advice to you would be, if you're not really interested in going for a full degree, there are a lot of professional certifications that are available, vocational, professional, a lot of alternatives that take a lot less time. One example is Redbeat Academy. It depends. Whatever you want to do, there's always an alternative. And the interesting thing about these certificates, especially professional certificates, is that they are focused on making sure you're good at doing that job. That's why they're called professional certificates. So yeah.
Right.
You go.
All right. All right. I do have a few questions on my own, if that's okay, Dr. Ram.
Yeah. That's totally
okay. Well, speaking about careers and options, and what do you suggest is a necessary skill or skills students should pick up before they venture into the working world, whether or not they're going into their field of interest?
If it's quite simple to answer that question, and I'd like all of the viewers to just look around them. What you notice is very prevalent. It's technology. Technology is everywhere. Your banking, your e-banking, especially now we work from home. It doesn't matter what you do. Even in medicine, they have to use technology. Everything runs on tech. Okay? It doesn't matter what you do. So having abilities, digital skills, and technology-related abilities will always be useful to you no matter what you study.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Dr. Ram. Just another quick one to touch on your profession. You spent about 20 years in academia, as what you mentioned earlier, doing a PhD and stuff. What do you think is the biggest challenge in the engineering field, or I guess talking about tech and programming and things like that? What is the biggest challenge from working to studying? I guess if we have students who are interested in this particular field.
Tech is the fastest moving area that you can pick. If you talk about medicine, and you go back 500-600 years, yes, the method of treatment is different, but human biology hasn't changed so much that you don't see humans suddenly having 4 arms every 5 years. But if you look at the technology landscape, what we're doing today would probably have been very, very difficult 10 years ago, and more than likely impossible 20 years ago. And what that means is, even when you're a professional in this industry, you have to keep growing. You have to keep moving on with how things are advancing. Okay, if you still want to be a COBOL programmer today, and if you have no idea what COBOL is, well, now you know how old I am. If you still want to be a COBOL programmer today, yeah, there is probably a job for you somewhere, but not all over the place. You're gonna have to move on with the time. So just note that you have to keep improving.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Ram. I feel like we've reached the end of our session. There are no more questions from the audience. Just to wrap things up, do you have any parting words of advice for STM leavers who are anxious to take on this big next step?
My advice to all of you is think it through carefully, and make sure it's your decision, not a decision you're making for someone else. Because in the end, it's your future. So do what you're comfortable with.
Okay, all right. Thanks for Dr. Ram for insights and perspective. We hope that our audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Dr. Ram, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you on board with us with some of your expertise. Hope to have you again for our next webinar session if you have us for our next VF, Dr. Ram.
Sure. Thank you, Nina.
All right. All right. Thanks so much, Doctor. Have a good day.
Welcome. You too.
All right. All right, thank you to our audience for tuning in to our webinar session with Dr. Ram Gopal of Redbeat Academy. If you're at the fair, do visit Redbeat Academy's virtual booth and check out all the offering programs that's available. Now, that's all we have for today. It's been a pleasure, and thank you to our audience for tuning in to EduAdvisor's webinar series. We hope you gain some insightful and inspiring information to pursue your dream courses. Don't forget to check out EduAdvisor's virtual education fair and get all the information you need. Just click chat at the respective universities or go on to info desk and speak to our counselors personally. Hope to see you again. Thank you for watching and goodbye.